Yeah, it's time. Rain delay. you what?
Hey, Glassy. Deal.
Take it off there.
Okay. How long? Are you going to work on the field or is it just tarp?
It should just be half that off.
Injuries along like this.
Let's go. We're going to give him 25 minutes. That'll get him. They're already at T. T, we already got him. T, we already did him. I might pop down for a few days. We got him on the way past.
Going on down in the first
good?
Run that burger off.
I want to go off the bus.
He hasn't replied. Fucking messages. Facebook Messenger. He's off the Christmas. He's not getting the card this year.
Just the bags or like the bulk of the whole box?
Yeah,
On the joint.
I doubt it.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus in Brisbane, and this production of Bandits.tv. With Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. Thank you again for joining us tonight. After a rain delay, we are ready for baseball, Paul, and great job by this field crew to get everything ready for baseball. We are only playing 7 innings, but 7 innings is better than none.
That's exactly right. I mean, we're very fortunate. The winds just came through recently. It felt like it was the storm before, and then all of a sudden the calm came in, and we were able to get this game in. So fantastic job by the crew tonight.
All said and done, it's going to be about an hour and 20-minute delay, originally scheduled for a 6 o'clock first pitch. It's going to be closer to 7:20, but again, we are going to play baseball tonight, and that is more than we had hoped for, I think, about a half hour ago when the wind was really blowing and the rain was coming down, as you could see if you tuned into our stream early. Let's reset the stage from Game 1 of our doubleheader. It was another 7-inning game. Bandits came out on top by a score of 7-1. They got a lot of offense early on, and they got a lot of different things going for them with the defense and the pitching. It seems like it's been a well-rounded team effort so far through 3 games.
Well, I think really for the Bandits, the most outstanding point was Travis Blackley. Threw brilliant 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, and really 6 punch-outs. And you talk about a guy that, veteran guy, he really pitched to soft contact, but he did a great job keeping the ball down and working ahead in the count and getting the big outs.
Speaking of veteran guys, Tim Atherton takes the mound tonight for the Bandits, and it's always different when you're a pitcher and you have to bump back your routine. Pitchers are creatures of habit, and rain delays can throw a wrench into those plans, but he's been through this. He knows how to navigate these different weather conditions. He should be good to go.
He'll be good to go. I mean, last year, same time, we had some weather adversity in the playoffs, and he just perseveres. He's a guy that has a game plan, locks in, and really for him is not overthrowing. He's a power arm, but it's going to be staying within himself and not trying to throw the ball through the backstop, but throw to his spots.
Bite came up short in Game 1 of the doubleheader, but they send an intriguing guy to the mound on their side of the rubber, Michael Gaughan, who has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, he does. Gaughan actually was a part of the Under-23s national program, and it's great to see him in the Adelaide Bite uniform this year. And like I said, it's a great opportunity for some of these younger athletes to compete at the ABL level, but he'll have his hands full against a very tough Bandits lineup.
Once again, because we are getting started after 7:15, it is going to be another 7-inning ball game tonight. Here's the lineup for the Bites. A little bit different, but much the same. It begins with Aaron Whitefield in center field. Nick Shumpert in left field follows up. Mikey Reynolds bats third at shortstop. Michael Geddes bats cleanup in right field. Stephen Welsh is at third base, batting fifth. Batting sixth at first base is Jordan McArdle. Batting seventh and catching is Mitch Edwards. Batting eighth at DH is Angus Roger. And batting ninth at second base, Curtis Meade. Bite are managed by Chris Adamson, and they will look to earn a series split. For the Bandits, a record of 2-1. Their lineup goes with Andrew Campbell leading off in center field, TJ Bennett at shortstop, Shu Chi-hung at third base, Wade Dutton at second, Donald Lutz in right field, David Sutherland at first, Ryan Battaglia catching, Danny De La Calle at DH, and Daniel Nielsen in left field. Tim Atherton takes the mound, and we are just about ready for baseball in Brisbane. Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits looking to begin the season 3-1 as they continue their title defense. First pitch is a ball high to Aaron Whitefield, putting together a very good debut series in his new team's uniform. Whitefield in Game 1 was 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Outfielder in the Twin system. Of course, a former Brisbane outfielder, and has spent most of this series talking with some old friends and guys who I'm sure he has not seen the last of. As someone from around here, those roots run deep.
They do, and the other thing is Whitey's also represents Team Australia. He's an Australian national player. He's a young player, and he gets on well with anyone. So I think for me, it's just great to see him healthy and back on a baseball field. Love to see him on the other side of Diamond, but I know he's been a fantastic addition to the Adelaide Bite this year.
Count is 1-2 as Atherton tries to get a grip on this baseball in the subpar conditions. Rain continues to fall, though not nearly as heavy as it was when the tarp was on the field. We had a first pitch of 7:22 local time, an hour and 22-minute delay. From the wind, the righty Atherton delivers to the plate, and it's a called strike 3. Skyfleet Hino's strikeout, and Whitefield goes down looking to begin game 2 of this doubleheader.
Well, early on, we did exactly what we talked about, a power arm that really, once he falls into a routine, I've always seen Atherton over the last few years, and he seems like he gets stronger with momentum. So right now, he looks like he's really comfortable out there in game 1 of his first start, and see how he acclimates throughout the game.
Here's Nick Schumpert, earning a promotion in the batting order. He was batting 8th in game 1, hit a double and scored a run, and now he's batting 2nd. Once again in left field. Swings the first pitch and sends a soft fly ball into shallow left center. It drops in front of Campbell, the center fielder, for a single. Not as well struck as the double in game 1, but it counts in the scorebook just the same.
It's the line drive up the middle in the books for a player. So, I mean, like I said, early on in the season, anytime you can get to a hot start with a new franchise is always good. Builds confidence and obviously helps you get through the early stages of when you transition to new pitching.
Here's Mikey Reynolds, right-handed hitting shortstop. Reynolds 0 for 3 in game 1. By the way, a first pitch temperature tonight of 22 degrees Celsius. Wind has really settled down. We had near gale force winds not 15 minutes ago that sent the production crew scrambling out to the cameras to make sure they weren't falling off of their tripods and mounts. Ball 1 misses. And speaking of our production crew, a little congratulations to the Hailstorm production crew. This is broadcast number 100 of the Brisbane Bandits. A nice little landmark for those guys.
Yeah, it's fantastic and a great effort by the team. Been fortunate enough to watch, and we talked about we almost feel like
Schumpert takes off for second, and he is safe. Almost overslid the bag. Dutton slapped down the tag, but it was not in time. Stolen base for the bite, and that is an added part of their game that was nearly non-existent last year.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about it early on. Here's the replay again. Good throw by Battaglia. Just got brought Wade off the bag and able to get just under the tag. Good position by the umpire.
Umpiring crew, same as game 1, just a little different orientation. Mal Mackay, the crew chief, is calling balls and strikes. Flanked at first by Tom West and at third by James Shields. 2-0 now the count as the Bite look to strike first in the first.
And we did talk about it. It is a young ball club by the Adelaide Bite have this year, but they're very, very aggressive, and I like the approach Adamson's taking with his team.
The 2-0. Rip to left, and that's turning foul. You can see the tarp in the background of that camera angle. Kudos to our grounds crew and other front office staff who pitched in to roll that baby up. I've done that a few times. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, I tell you what, it is an effort, and I tell you, unless you've actually been on tarp duty, you don't realize what a workout is. But once again, these guys do a brilliant job out here, and led by Cooper Thompson, who's head groundskeeper, and he runs a good team.
And the field, as always, is in good condition, especially given the weather that we've had so far today. Rain began in the late innings of Game 1. Game 1, again, a 7-1 victory for the Bandits in 7 innings. Got started at about 2:30 and ended just before 5. The 2-1 from Atherton to Reynolds, and it misses low.
We did talk about early in the piece, Atherton, a power arm. This is his first start for the Bandits this year. A little bit of work during the pre-series, and like I said, I've always known him. It's just how quickly he can settle into his routine. But once he does, he's a tough competitor on the mound.
With first base open, the 3-1 to Reynolds. Hit on the ground left side. Going to third is Schumpert, and now they've got him in a rundown. They tag him out. Score at 6-5 on the fielder's choice. Reynolds reaches, but Schumpert with a base-running blunder runs on a play that was ahead of him. That's a no-no.
Yeah, it is, and a good heads-up baseball by TJ to read it. Here we see the replay. Ball's hit to the right side of a player, and the automatic should freeze right there. Comes up, instead of making the tough throw, flips it over to Chi, who runs him down for out number 2.
Bandits will take that trade. Runner moves backwards 90 feet with Reynolds at first, and here's Michael Geddes. Geddes 1 for 2 with a single and a hit by pitch in game 1 today. Homered in the first inning of last night's game as part of a 2-hit effort, and he takes a called strike.
Yeah, we talked about Geddes early in the piece, 23 years of age from Gainesville, Georgia, and he was a second-round pick with San Diego in 14, so this man's got a lot of talent.
Atherton laboring, but a good pitch or two away from putting up a 0 in the first. The 0-1, that's a good pitch. Check swing from Geddes, he went around, and it's 0-2. In the bottom of the first, it'll be Campbell, Bennett, and Shue for the Bandits. Bandits 2-1 on the season, but a half game behind Sydney, who is off to a 2-0 start. Check of the runner at first. Reynolds dives back. Rain falling softly. And credit where it's due to the crowd here at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Most fans stuck around through the hour and 22-minute delay. The 0-2 to Geddes. Called strike 3. A pair of strikeouts looking for Tim Atherton in a scoreless top of the first inning, and the Bandits come to bat.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits come to bat against Michael Gaughan of the Adelaide Bite in the finale of round 1 of the 2018-19 ABL season. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you after an hour and 22-minute rain delay. We are playing baseball in Brisbane as the Bandits look for the doubleheader sweep. Andrew Campbell leads it off, the center fielder for the Bandits. Takes outside ball 1.
Yeah, Gaughan, 23 years of age. This will be his debut for the ABL. There's no numbers on 180 centimeters, 85 kilos. Did represent Team Australia in the under-23s this year and threw the ball extremely well.
Ball, then a strike, and a single-digit pitcher. Always like to see that. 2-1. What number did you wear most frequently in your playing career?
That's a good question. 36 I wore and 18 early. Then in the back end of my career, after my son Max was born, 23.
Here's a drive off the bat of Campbell to deep left, right center field. It is gone. Andrew Campbell with a leadoff home run in the bottom of the first inning. Bandits take a 1-0 lead. Another Empire Jerky home run, and that one was a no-doubter.
I tell you what, he squared that baseball up, and you talk about welcoming someone to the ABL, and that's the way you want to do it. If you're on the opposing side, Soupy got a pitch out over the plate, and that's the way the Bandits want to start off. See the replay right here. Pitch down and in, and he did a number on it.
Easy part of the ballpark to hit it out to, but that would have been out in most ballparks. Now TJ Bennett. And Bennett with a home run cut sends it foul back to the screen. Second time in 4 games that Andrew Campbell has led off the bottom of the first inning with a home run. If he makes a habit out of that, Bandits will be quite happy. Here's the 0-1. Bounced in the dirt, and it's 1-1.
Can you remember or recall the last leadoff hitter that had that much pop in the leadoff position?
Not too many guys. Ricky Henderson comes to mind, Brian Dozier for a while, but it's a rare skill set. Usually you want the leadoff guy to be an on-base speed type guy. And Campbell has speed, to be certain, but the power aspect of his game is an added bonus. 2-1 hits the corner, 2-2.
Yeah, I'm glad you called. Ricky Henderson's probably the best, if not the best of all times. And you know, like they say, Ricky can hit and Ricky can run.
He can do a lot of different things. The 2-2 to Bennett, misses outside. TJ coming off of an interesting ball game in this afternoon's contest. Walked his first 2 times, stole a pair of bases, hit into a 1-6-3 double play, and an RBI single in his final at bat. Strikes out here for out number 1. And the first ABL strikeout for Gong.
Yeah, good pitch right there, and looked like just threw him a little wrinkle that backed up on him and just tied him up for out number 1. But see the replay here, so see the breaking pitch, first time these guys have seen it, just kind of really tied him up a little bit and got him out for his first strikeout of the ABL.
Here's Shu Ji Hung. He takes outside. Hung batting 182 on the young season, looking for his first run batted in. Sends it foul back to the screen. His 2 hits, a double and a single. The 1-1. Roped just foul outside of first.
You can sense with the veteran hitters, they're really locking in on the young pitcher. Obviously, they saw a tough start in game 2. They battled in game 3, put up a 7 spot. In game 4, they look a lot more relaxed at the plate.
Here's the 1-2. Hit in the air to right center field. That'll find the gap. 2 hops off the wall, picked up by Whitefield, but not before Shu glides into second with a stand-up double. That bat is heating up.
Yeah, it is, and like I said, the hardest thing, and I was, in my playing career, I played in 3 international places. I played in Taiwan, Japan, and also played in Italy. And it's always about how do I transition to the new culture, the new pitching style, the new ballpark. So he seems to be adjusting well.
Now Wade Dutton. Dutton in the cleanup spot once again, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts in game 1. Second double of the year for Shu. And we've seen he's got some good speed as well as he dances off second. Dutton sends it fair down the first base line. It falls for a base hit, and scoring from second is Shu. Dutton with a professional at bat, sending it the other way, and the Bandits double their lead. It's 2-0.
Really good bat by Dutton right there. Didn't try to do too much with the pitch. Stayed with it and shot the ball into right field for a single, but that drives in the second run of the game. And like you said, a very good at bat by Dutton.
Here's Donald Lutz. Lutz getting the start in right field tonight in the nightcap. He takes inside ball 1. Typically a DH, but in another life, got more frequent reps in the outfield. Big swing and a miss. It's 1-1. That's more a testament to the outfield depth of the Bandits that he isn't out there more frequently, but I think most of the time we're going to see Donald at the DH spot.
Yeah, he'll probably see a lot of time in the DH spot, particularly with Mitch Nielsen, who's still on in the recovery stages. But it'll be good for the Bandits. It gives opportunities like young Dan Nielsen and Curtis to get some opportunities to get some innings and get some at-bats early in the season.
Hitters count for Lutz. Gone delivers, and a big swing and a miss.
Good pitch by Young Gone right there. You're exactly right. He's in a 2-1 count, which is a hitter's count. Most young guys in that situation would go with a fastball, but looked like he just gave him a little bit of a wrinkle and a different look in a hitting count.
Runner goes, taken inside. The throw down to second is high and into center field. Dutton checks in there, and he will be content with the stolen base. Whitefield backs up the throw and gets it back in.
Not a pitchy, mate.
Take a look at the Suki Bowl replay there. Dutton had it stolen. And stolen, it appeared, off of Gone, the pitcher. First base is now open. The count is 3-2. David Sutherland waits on deck. The payoff pitch. Looks early, and he fouls it off the first base side. Hard carom off the side wall. .22 pitches thrown already for Michael Gone, 13 of them for strikes. Only one out on the board. Another 3-2. Lutz takes low and away, and the ball skips by the catcher Edwards. Advancing to third will be Dutton. And what I would have to guess is going to be a pass ball. Good at bat for Lutz. He finds his way to first with the walk.
Yeah, really good at bat by Lutz. And the other thing is, by the ball getting away, it allows Wade Dutton to advance to third base. So now we've got runners in first and third with very dangerous hitter at the plate in David Sutherland.
It is ruled a wild pitch, and it was low and away. Runners at the corners now for David Sutherland. First pitch to Sutherland, misses outside. Sutherland batting .182 with one homer and one run batted in. In game one, he reached on a fielder's choice and scored, but was 0 for 3. 1-0 misses low and away.
This looks like he's really struggling with that secondary pitch, and if he can't get command early in the ballgame, it could be very tough for him. Once again, he falls behind the count.
Big foul back to the screen, and the count is 2-1. Inning began with a solo homer off the bat of Andrew Campbell. That was to right center field. Went out double from Shu Chi Hung was followed by an RBI single to Wade Dutton. Chip shot line drive, too tall for the first baseman McArdle. Sutherland spits on a breaking pitch that finds its way over the zone, a called strike.
Really good pitch right there, and once again, like Lutz, he got in a hitting count and was able to pull the string on that curveball in a 2-1 count, making it 2-2 now.
Bounce to the dirt. Nice stop by Edwards. And Lutz went about a third of the way towards second base before retreating. In all, 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout for the Bandits against Michael Gahn, who's going to throw his 29th pitch. Lutz takes off. The pitch is inside, and it is ball 4. Bases are loaded after a pair of walks, and Gahn is really fighting it out here.
Yeah, he's struggling. I mean, it's early in the ball game, and probably a very difficult lineup for any pitcher to face. And now he's got his work cut out with him with bases loaded and 1 out.
Here's Ryan Battaglia back in the lineup after getting game 1 off. Check swing and a strike, 0-1. Battaglia on the season 2 for 7 with a pair of singles, looking for his first run batted in. 0-1, driven in the air to left field. Shumpert a few steps in, now over makes the catch. Tagging from third is Dutton, and he's going to score. Sac fly RBI for Ryan Battaglia. The Bandits have put up 3 runs so far already in the first.
Yeah, really good hitting there by Battaglia. Got a pitch out over the plate and just drives the ball deep into left field and allows Wade Dutton to score easily on the sacrifice fly.
Lutz and Sutherland stay put at second and first respectively. Now Danny De La Calle. De La Calle getting the start at DH after getting catching assignments in game 1. First pitch, a check swing he held up on a ball in the dirt. De La Calle, the 8th man to bat. Daniel Nielsen would wait on deck. De La Calle swings and hits it hard on the ground towards short. Fielding is Reynolds. He goes the short way to second, where Mita waits to force out Sutherland for out number 3. But it is a successful first inning for the Bandits, who push across 3 runs on Michael Gahn making his ABL debut. 3-0 lead after 1 in a 7-inning ball game. Back after this on Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Better late than never. Brisbane Bandits and Adelaide Bite off to a late start in game 2 of our doubleheader. But after an hour and 22-minute delay, the Bandits jump out of the gates early with a 3-0 advantage over the Bite. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you. And Paul, always helps a starter to get early run support. We've seen that twice already in this series.
Absolutely, especially with a guy like Atherton. You've got him as your number 4 starter, and this guy pitched against Team Japan, the WBC in Tokyo. So that's what you're facing. You're potentially facing a number 1 in a 4 slot, so that's got to be a tough task for any team.
Stephen Welsh leads off the second inning for the Bite. Left-handed hitting third baseman. Dropped down in the order. He was batting third in game number 1 and had a pretty decent game, actually. 1 for 2 with a single and a hit by pitch. Different look for Chris Adamson, the second-year manager of the Bite. First pitch for a strike on the outside corner.
I I like the move. What it does is, well, she gives Geddes a bit of protection. It's still early in the season, but when you look at the mix of Whitefield, Shumpert, Reynolds, and Geddes, Welsh just kind of protects that top end of the order.
0-1, fouled straight back. Fans behind home plate, a little too close to the action maybe on that foul ball. But those GABA nets keeping them safe.
Keeping them safe, that's exactly right.
0-2. Atherton picks up another strikeout. Foul tip into the glove of Battaglia, and Welsh down on 3 pitches. Strikeout number 3, another Skyfleet Hino strikeout for Tim Atherton.
And that's what we talk about. Just he is a power arm and just blows that ball right by him. And like I said, as he progresses through the game, he does tend to get stronger the deeper he goes into the ball game.
Jordan McArdle's turn. Another lefty. And that is an perhaps unintended consequence of the lineup shuffle. Bite have 3 guys who will be batting lefty, and they are all in sequence. Welsh, McArdle, and Edwards, the switch-hitting catcher, who will be batting lefty against the righty Atherton. Strike 1 begins the at-bat. Atherton from the wind. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Pumping strikes, challenging batters, everything you want to see so far with the league.
That's exactly right. And that one thing is, and I'm fortunate when I played, David was catching for Team Australia and number of teams. Doesn't really mess around. He really forces these guys to challenge hitters and force them to put the ball in play. And looks like that's the game plan tonight with Atherton on the mound.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 4 through 5 outs for Tim Atherton. Out number 2 here in the second. Another Skyfleet Hino strikeout. The first 2 were looking. These last 2 were swinging, and they were dispatched pretty quickly.
Absolutely. It looks like just old school Roger Clemens style baseball. Just rear back and see if they can hit it. And today looks very, very sharp, and looks like his velocity is right where he wants it in game 1.
Here's the catcher, Mitch Edwards, batting from the left side. Slow wind for Atherton. The pitch right back up the middle, and it bleeds through into center field. 2-out single for the Bite, their second hit of the ball game, and that extends things for Angus Roger. Roger, the DH once again, went 0 for 3 earlier today. And 0 for 10 on the season with 3 strikeouts, still looking for that first knock.
I think that's the hardest part for any hitter, no matter how many years you've played, is breaking that and getting your first hit of the year. So see if he can come up with his first hit of the year against Atherton.
Atherton back in the stretch. The righty delivers. What else? A called strike. "3-0 Bandits in the top of the second inning. Because of our rain delay, pushing it past 7:15, we are playing only 7 innings tonight because of curfew guidelines. Roger chases low and away, and it's 0-2. We've seen a lot of pitchers get into 0-2 counts in this series, and we've seen a lot of strikeouts too, but Atherton, more than anyone else that we've seen this weekend, has followed strike 3 almost immediately after strike 2 in the early goings. See what he has for Roger. Called strike 3. Tim Atherton strikes out the side in the second and has 5 punch-outs through 2 scoreless innings against the Bite. It's another Skyfleet Hino strikeout, and it sends us into break with the Bandits on top, 3-0.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
The Bandits batted 8 in a 3-run first inning off of Michael Gahn, and as a result, Gahn is gone. 1 inning, 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and a short debut for someone who has a lot of potential, and I'm sure we will see before too long.
I agree with you. Look, it's not a reflection on him. He's pitching in a tough game, game 4 of a very tough lineup where these guys have made their adjustments in the first 3 games, and like I said, a credit to him. He's shown that he has great potential, and I think he's going to do some good things for this ball club this year.
Ryo Takeuchi makes his second appearance of the series in relief. It is an Alderley Higher pitching change, and Takeuchi, the lefty, will be tasked to face 9-1-2 in the Bandits lineup, beginning with Daniel Nielsen. We first saw Takeuchi in the opener I beg your pardon, we did not see Takeuchi. This is his first appearance of the year.
Takeuchi is 32 years of age and from Osaka, Japan. He's 185 centimeter, 91 kilo lefty. So don't have a book on him, but I can imagine he'll probably be a 3-pitch guy. Typically it's fastball, breaking ball, and split finger is the traditional pitch out of Japan. So, and I think it's a good move by the Bite. You got a tough left-handed stacked lineup, and now it's a completely different look from the left-hander from Japan.
Last game of the series, you're only playing 7 innings. You don't really have to worry about burning up your bullpen guys. Use them, get through this, and maybe you can hold serve and get back in this ballgame.
Well, not only that, but getting him in out there early, he might get something and see a different look. Where can he transition into a starter depending on how he throws the ball tonight?
Daniel Nielsen takes a called strike, 0-1. Nielsen 1 for 2 with a double, a walk, and 2 runs scored in game 1 of the doubleheader. He takes inside. Bandits also debuting their 2018 yellow uniforms. They've gone home whites twice and the new black pinstripe alternates once. Brisbane has worn these yellows before, but not yet this season. 2-1 the count. Lifted foul, out of play, left side.
I think what we've seen is like what we saw in the pre-series game with Auckland, a very young team as well. But there's a lot of positive points with the Adelaide Bite. They run extremely well.
Nielsen lifts it foul again, same spot.
Defensively, they play solid defense, and they know how to manufacture offense. It's just going to come down to getting that rotation right to keep them in ball games.
The 2-2. Breaking pitch froze him. And it was caught at the shins, but crossed the plate at the knees. And that's close enough for Mal Mackay, the home plate umpire, to ring him up.
Here's a replay right here, and that's what we talk about, just a different look, is that left-handed breaking ball broke just over the top of the plate. That's out number 1, but just like I said, a good move by the Bite, just giving a different look from the left side.
Well framed by Edwards, and the lineup turns over for Andrew Campbell, who homered to begin the first inning. Second homer of the season for Campbell, and the first Bandit to 2 homers on the year. There's the slow breaker for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, really good break and late action, and just probably what the Bite need against this tough left-handed lineup.
Swinging strike 3. 2 quick strikeouts for Ryo Takeuchi as he comes on in relief after a short start. Sure enough, that different look, it appears, has turned things around on the pitching side for the Bite. And now TJ Bennett.
Like that move right there by TJ. You've got two quick outs and just takes his time. And what that does is allows Atherton to have a little bit more time in the dugout before he starts potentially the next inning.
Bennett does swing at the first pitch, however, and sends it straight back. Saw Takeuchi go to the rosin bag behind the mound, and that's something that, and he does it again here, that's something that pitchers need to do in these conditions, otherwise you're just going to lose grip of the ball. The 0-1 to Bennett off the inside corner, ball 1. Ball just misses, and a hesitation from the catcher, Edwards, who was in disbelief that that was not called a strike. Takeuchi a bit upset too. Hitters count to the dangerous TJ Bennett. There's a strike. Almost the same spot. Now it's 2-2.
Sometimes at the higher level, sometimes when you do that, and it can be interpreted completely different by the umpire. So he's lucky he's able to get that close call in the same, almost in the same location.
Takeuchi delivers, and Bennett lashes it out to center, but charging in is Whitefield to make the catch for out number 3. Bandits were all over Michael Gahn, but Ryo Takeuchi comes in and stops the bleeding. A 1-2-3 second inning as we go to the third in Brisbane. 3-0 Bandits on bandits.tv. Players staying dry in the dugout as we play through some drizzle in Brisbane at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you for the finale of round 1 between the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits and the Adelaide Bite. Brisbane on the strength of a 3-run first, leading it 3-0, going to the top of the third in this 7-inning ball game. Game 2 of the doubleheader after the Bandits took game 1 by a score of 7-1. Tim Atherton back on the mound, and Atherton's been about as sharp as you can ask for.
Well, you talk about it, 6 outs, 5 have been through punch-outs, so he's only conceded 2 hits in the 2 innings so far, but he's actually really adjusted well in his first start of the 18-19 campaign, so David and Jim must be extremely pleased where he's at right now.
9-1-2 due up for the Bite. Curtis Mead, the second baseman, leads things off. Atherton with 5 strikeouts through 2 innings, and 3 of the 5 strikeouts have come looking. Painting corners and breaking hearts so far. Mead 1 for 10 on the young season. That hit came in his first at bat in game number 1. A comebacker off of Atherton. He fields and throws to first to retire Mead, and now we hope that Tim Atherton is okay. Ricocheted off of him, but he had the presence of mind as we take a look at the Suki Bowl replay. Got him right in the calf area, or maybe higher, closer to the knee. Bouncing right back towards home plate. And he got some help from his catcher, Ryan Battaglia, pointing out where the ball was.
Yeah, really good job. And for the young guys out there watching, he didn't panic. He gained his composure, really set up before he fired to make sure he made a good throw for out number 1. It's always nice to have a big 6'7" left-handed first baseman over there to pull that out of the air for you.
Aaron Whitefield steps in, struck out looking his first time up. Bunted in the air on a hop back to the pitcher Atherton, and he throws on to first to retire Whitefield. Aaron had been jonesing for a bunt base hit this entire series, finally put one in play. Unfortunately, it's in the one spot where he wasn't going to beat it out.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic runner. You see it right here, just bunted back to the pitcher. And Atherton doing a good job of fielding his position well, coming up, taking his time and firing a strike to first base for out number 2.
Suki Bowl replay there.
Speaking of Suki Bowl, they're fantastic.
Yes, they are. Feeding us nightly. Two assists for the pitcher Tim Atherton, and 2 quick outs here in the third. Now Nick Schumpert singled for one of 2 hits the Bite have so far against Atherton. Fans, a reminder that the Bandits will be on the road next weekend in Auckland to take on the Tuatara. You can visit the Sporting Globe Chermside, the official watch party hosts of the Brisbane Bandits. 1-0, driven in the air towards deep right center field. Backing on it is Campbell, and he has room to make the catch for out number 3. A 1-2-3 third inning. No strikeouts, but some quick outs, and that's what matters to Tim Atherton, who is pitching a gem so far this evening. Back after this, 3-0 Bandits. You're watching Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Welcome back to One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus, where the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits lead the Adelaide Bite by a score of 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you for Game 2 of a doubleheader. You saw the Taiwanese flag hanging in prominence behind home plate as Shu Chi-hung leads off for the Bandits, taking high and tight ball 1. Shu doubled and scored his first time up, and that's an increasing part of the on-field and off-field chemistry and the formula for the Bandits.
It has, and it's been a big part of Mark Reedy's and David Nielsen's and strategies over the last few years, and we've seen some impact players come in, and I think we've got another impact player in the league, and I see fantastic things. Defensively, he's been outstanding. Offensively, he's starting to catch on fire, and he's been fantastic in the clubhouse according to his teammates, so it's great to see him adjusting to Brisbane well.
The 1-1 from Ryo Takeuchi misses high, 2-1. And we want to say hello to our Taiwanese viewers tuning in tonight.
As you would, you'd say ni hao.
Ni hao. Two-one lifted back of home plate, and that's headed for the grandstand.
I'll have to ask him, and I know he wears 51 and probably one of the greatest hitters, and may obviously he would hope be a first-year induction to the Hall of Fame out of Japan. Mr. Ichiro Suzuki himself wore 51, so I'll have to find out if he's a fan of Ichiro.
Oh. Here's a drive to right center field, in on the hands a bit, but it falls in between Whitefield and Geddes. Geddes, the right fielder, left his hands up, and scampering to second is Shu. Heads up base running again from Shu Chi-hung. We've seen a lot of hustle from this young man.
Absolutely. We're just talking about earlier, just talking about what he's done defensively, and here's the replay right here. Gets out in front. Good job by Whitefield to cover a lot of ground. Obviously, he fields it right there, but doesn't realize actually he has it in the mitt. Drops out, but good heads up running by Chi, and he advances to second for a leadoff double.
Second double of the ball game for Shu, and already 3 on the young season. That leads the team. Cleanup batter Wade Dutton steps in. He brought Shu home from second in the first inning with an RBI single over first base. Takeuchi delivers, and it is a push bunt up the first base line that rolls foul.
I really like that right there. I know you're talking about, a guy hitting in a power slot, but it's those little things right there, particularly early in the ball game, knowing it's a 7-inning game. He's just trying to advance the runner and move him in to give Lutzy a chance to drive him in with third with 1 out or less.
And a push bunt is not the automatic out or near automatic out that a sacrifice bunt is either. You've got a decent chance at beating it out with Dutton's speed. With no element of surprise, he swings away and sends a hard one-hopper right back to the mound. Takeuchi fields and throws for the first out.
Yeah, good job of fielding right there on a tough hit ball to him. Came up, good bounce, and you can see it on the replay. What he does really well, he checks the runner at second base, gets him to commit back to the bag, and he makes a clean throw to first base for out number 1.
Suki Bowl replay. Now Donald Lutz. Lutz drew a walk his first time up. Got as far as second before he was stranded. Lutz takes on the outside corner a breaking pitch for strike 1.
Been really effective tonight just since he's come out of the bullpen in the top of the second inning, and been really effective getting that pitch over for the strike.
Lutz batting .333 so far. 2 runs batted in. And a check swing, he went around. The count is now 0-2.
Just a different look right there. Looked like he went soft and then really rushed that. I don't know if it's a cutter or a little slider right there, but just changed the speed and location, got him out in front for second strike of the game.
Falling away from a big left-handed swing like Lutz's makes it all the more difficult to pick up. Shu Chi-hung at second base after a leadoff bloop double that fell in between 2 outfielders. Same pitch, this time Lutz lays off. It's a ball 1-2. 3 runs on 4 hits for the Bandits. No runs on 2 hits for the Bite. Lutz chases low and away, a swinging strike 3. Out number 2, and strikeout number 3 already for Ryo Takeuchi.
Get a chance to see the pitch right here in the good location. Really laid action on the breaking ball, so he's got to be a little bit tough on left-handed hitters, particularly for the first time seeing him this year.
Here's David Sutherland. Walk his first time up. Chance to drive in a run with a base hit to the outfield. 0-1 the count. Sutherland connects on the barrel but sends it foul down the left field line. Those folks intense. Rain didn't bother them. The weight may have, but they stuck it out, and so far they're seeing Brisbane on top.
Yeah, that's a new club started this year by Mark Reedy and Daniel Ullman driving that. It's the Diamond Club, which is a new addition to the new restructured Brisbane Bandits.
Takeuchi delivers, just missing outside with the breaking ball. Rain has completely stopped now, hopefully for good. And Sutherland strikes out. Like Lutz before him, he chases low and away, and there's something about Takeuchi and his offerings from the left side that are just too tempting for these left-handed batters. Bandits get a leadoff double, but Shu stays at second base. No score in the third, and we go to the fourth. Still 3-0 Bandits on bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits leading the Adelaide Bite by a score of 3-0 as we go to the top of the fourth at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. One of the many games going on across the league today. Bandits not in first place. That's not a place that they are familiar even this early in the season.
Now I'll go around in game one of the doubleheaders all across the nation today. So we had Perth winning game one of that doubleheader 5-4 against Auckland. So Auckland once again competed, and that came on a 5 spot in the 7th to win that game 5-4. So that would have been a tough and a heartbreaker for Auckland. And then game one of that Melbourne versus Canberra was 4-1 in favor of the Melbourne Aces. Brisbane Bandits won game one 7-1. We're in a 3-0 game here, and in the top of the 7th, Melbourne Aces lead Canberra 7-0, and in the bottom of the 8th, Sydney Blue Sox lead the Geelong Korea 3-1.
Sydney entering that game with a 2-0 record, half game better than Brisbane's 2-1 record. But if the Bandits can win this ball game, they will finish round one with a 3-1 mark, and that's about as good as you can hope for. This Adelaide team, not very successful last year, but as we've said at every opportunity, plenty of room for growth, and we have seen some growth in this series alone. Some really good standout pitching performances and a lot of offensive pieces. One of those pieces is Mikey Reynolds, who reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. He stands in and takes ball one. Tim Atherton has had his A game so far. 5 strikeouts, 2 measly singles, nobody past second base through 3 scoreless. Ball 2 misses inside. We mentioned at the outset that this is broadcast number 100 for Hailstorm with the Bandits.tv production, and we want to say hello to Rob and Justin out in San Leandro for tuning in tonight. Fouled back to the screen, and it's the middle of the night in the United States. That takes some dedication.
It does. I tell you what, the fans have been loyal globally, and want to acknowledge all of them, particularly the ones in the U.S. that do stay up fairly late. But I'll have to acknowledge as well how well the broadcast has been over the weekend. Fantastic job by the boys, and you know it's a pleasure having worked with them in game number 100.
3-1 the count. Atherton hasn't offered any free passes so far today, and he doesn't want to offer a leadoff one here to Reynolds with the dangerous Michael Geddes waiting on deck. (3-1). Popped up, right side of the infield. Sutherland over. He calls and catches out number 1. What an asset David Sutherland is to this team. Year in and year out. Steady as a rock defensively. A lot of pop in the bat, as we saw in his homer last night. And it goes without saying, a good clubhouse presence as well.
No, he's fantastic. There's not a lot that comes out. You know, he's a fairly quiet leader, but team really respect him, and the fans truly respect him. Probably the best walk-up song in the league.
Can't argue that. Here's Michael Geddes. Geddes with a big swing and a miss.
Just looking at Geddes, last year was in Double-A with in the Texas League in San Antonio. 125 games, 431 at-bats, 230 average, so it's probably good that he's here, get some more at-bats under him. He's probably going to progress, and they project him to be in the big leagues the next 2 to 3 years.
0-1, same pitch, same result, a swing and a miss. San Antonio moving up to Triple-A, and they're no longer in the Padres system. New Double-A is going to be Amarillo for the Padres, and Triple-A is, as it has been for the last few years, in El Paso. El Paso Chihuahuas. How do you like that?
Played in El Paso a few years. I'm hoping they moved out of that stadium. There, are they in a new?
They've got a brand spanking new facility and gorgeous. As there's a called strike 3, another Skyfleet Hino strikeout for Tim Atherton, strikeout number 6 so far this evening. El Paso actually hosting the PCL All-Star Game, I believe, as we take another look at the Suki Bowl replay.
Tell you what, he's throwing the ball extremely well here in game 1, and David's got to be really pleased. Thing is, for a power arm, his pitch counts are still very low, so he's not laboring at all, just really pounding the strike zone tonight.
36 pitches, 28 of them for strikes. Outstanding for the veteran righty. Here's Stephen Welsh, strikeout victim his first time up. He swings the first pitch and lifts it foul out of play.
You always know a guy's throwing hard when everyone's gearing up fastball and they're still late on the pitch. So his fastball's live tonight, and he hasn't really mixed in a lot of secondary pitches. So it's not like they're looking at second pitches. They're looking primarily at fastball and just not able to catch up.
What a luxury that is for a guy like Atherton, who then, when he faces these guys for the 3rd time or maybe even 4th time in the order, can mix in the secondary pitches and give them something they haven't seen yet.
And I think right there is the first time he took a little bit off, and this showed him something different. He's got a veteran hitter that he has a lot of respect for, so just giving him a different look here with 2 outs.
And again, a reminder that because of the rain delay, we are playing only 7 innings tonight, so more than halfway home is Tim Atherton to a complete game, if he makes it that far. The 0-2. Line into left center field, long run for Campbell, and he plays it on a hop, and it gets by him all the way to the wall. Picked up by Nielsen, he throws it into the cut, and Welsh, not pressing his luck, will stay at second.
Really good at bat by Welshie right there with 2 strikes to stay through the baseball, and that's what a veteran hitter does. He doesn't try to do too much. He opens up and utilizes the whole field and able to get it by Campbell. Now he's on second base with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Campbell kind of turned that single into a double, but again, with these wet field conditions, it's tough to read how high that is going to bounce off the turf on that first hop.
It is, and like exactly what you said, it's a wet field, and I think he tried to see if he could come up with a bare hand play and get it to second and prevent him advancing, but good job by Nielsen backing up to keep him on second base here.
Also not too easy to turn on a dime when you've got all that head of steam going in one direction and the ball skips behind you. Jordan McCardle steps in. He struck out swinging his first time up. Atherton back in the stretch. First pitch popped up, out of play. First extra base hit of the night for the Bite. To go with 2 singles, they still have not advanced a runner past second base. The 0-1, fouled straight back. That's a ConocoPhillips foul ball, in part because it almost hit the ConocoPhillips canopy over the backstop seating there.
Yeah, ConocoPhillips had their family day last night, so they normally draw between 80 and 100 guests, and they've been one of the longest partners of the Brisbane Bandits since day one.
And we appreciate their support. Atherton ahead 0-2 to Jordan McArdle. The delivery, missing up high. If that's a fastball in that location, you think, okay, maybe he's setting up something else, but that was, it appeared, a secondary pitch that just didn't come out of the hand right.
That's it, and he really hasn't had to go to it all night, but obviously with the man on second base, and still a very tight ball game, 3-0, he's got to be very careful against a very young, dangerous hitter.
McArdle sends it in the air, back of third. Shoe over, but running out of room. It lands out of play.
It's a completely different atmosphere now, and it's absolutely gorgeous tonight, and it turned out to be a beautiful setting for game number 2. At one stage it looked under threat, but once again we want to acknowledge the grounds crew on the ball and getting the tarps out early, and the field's actually in immaculate condition.
The 1-2, missing up high.
This is the first time I've seen him where he looks like, and you know how you see a power arm, that it's starting to, the fatigue maybe setting in, the ball's starting to be up in the zone.
Missing
really,
north and south.
Yeah, he was very, very sharp early on down in the zone, and now it's starting to be a little bit more elevated up in the strike zone.
Up to 44 pitches, that's still pretty good, but this is his longest inning so far. And another foul at the plate.
Better pitch right there, better location.
Bandits have Luke Van Meel available. Allowed a run but picked up the save in Thursday's opener. Not used Friday or in game 1 earlier today. Atherton trying to finish off McArdle. And McArdle sends one down the left field line. Long run for Nielsen, and Nielsen too runs out of room. Around the tarp area, and better safe than sorry early in the year. Don't want to go full bore in there and risk an injury.
No, I think it's better to be safe. We've obviously had a few bruises this early in the season, so I'm sure David's making sure these guys stay within themselves. Play hard, obviously, but just make sure they protect themselves on the field.
Pitch number 8 in this at-bat coming up between Atherton and McArdle. Atherton ready. A look towards second. And again, a foul down the left field line, out of play. If McArdle can extend the inning, Mitch Edwards would come to the plate representing the tying run. Atherton, suffice to say, does not want that to happen. A deep breath for the righty as he delivers pitch number 9 in the at-bat. McArdle drives it deep down the right field line, but hooking foul. High off the corner backstop, and it had home run distance. Just a little bit too much hook on it.
Yeah, he got it out right there, and he hasn't seen that secondary pitch, so just starting to catch up with the velocity and just making small adjustments. He shot the ball 3 times left side of the field and now got a little out in front, so Tim could come up with that secondary pitch right here and give him a different look. He may have to force him to make an adjustment.
This will be pitch number 10 in the battle. McArdle fights another one off. McArdle just 1 for 11 on the season, but he is putting together a tough at bat. Another 2-2. This time taken. A breaking pitch low and away, and the count runs full. First base is open. Edwards on deck.
Tell you what, good job of laying off a tough curveball right there after seeing different looks, and all of a sudden Atherton tried to get him out in front or get him to chase a pitch down in the zone, and good discipline by the young 20-year-old hitter to lay off that pitch.
Payoff pitch. Fouled straight back. ConocoPhillips foul ball, almost dislodging our microphone down there. We're good. Another foul ball. This is going to be a 14-pitch at bat, at least.
Tell you what, that's a good at bat by this young man, and I'm really impressed. I've watched him for a number of years, and as he matures, I know spent a season overseas and had a really good under-23s world for Team Australia, and he's having a fantastic at bat against a very tough right-handed pitcher for the Bandits.
Atherton with a long look in towards his catcher, Battaglia. The 3-2. Hit on the ground through the hole right side, base hit. Charging and throwing is Lutz, but Welsh will score from second, and McArdle wins the 14-pitch battle with an RBI single.
I'll tell you what, that was an outstanding at bat by that young man. He just battled and laid off some really tough pitches, came up with a big hit to right field, now making this a 3-1 ball game here in the fourth inning.
That means Edwards will come to the plate representing the tying run. Battaglia comes out to chat with his righty. That was going to be demoralizing for either Atherton or McArdle at the end of the at-bat. McArdle wins it, and now Atherton has to regroup and get focused on another batter with a different approach. Edwards singled his first time up. First pitch misses, ball 1. Everything happening with 2 outs here in the fourth inning. First 2 outs came easily and quickly enough, but then Stephen Welsh with the double. The left center field, McArdle with the 14-pitch single. Ball 2 just misses, and last thing Atherton needs is for the strike zone to shrink.
A good pitch down in the strike zone, and good job by Edwards laying off the 1-0 pitch. Now he puts himself in a really good hitting count.
Edwards chased up high, and on a 2-0, it's dangerous to throw up there, but Atherton went up with a purpose, and he has trust in his own stuff.
Yeah, he's still throwing the ball hard right there, so we talked about when guys are sitting on certain pitches and you still get it by him. Shows he's still got high velocity here tonight.
Atherton to Edwards, lifted in the air to left center field. In the ballpark, and Campbell has it. Out number 3 comes after a couple long at-bats, and the first run of the game for the Bites. A Welsh double and a McArdle single gets Adelaide on the board. 3-1 Brisbane as we go to the bottom of the fourth on Bandits.tv.
communication is key, both on and off the field.
Good afternoon, One Hub Group. How may I help you?
Yeah, I'm chasing a new phone. Okay. Okay, great.
One Hub is dedicated account management for all our technology. Having one point of contact makes a massive difference and lets us focus on what we do best.
Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits leading the Adelaide Bite 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Rio Takeuchi came into a tough situation coming on at the beginning of the second inning after a very short start from Bite starter Michael Gaughan. Takeuchi handed the baton now to Toru Kukui in an Alderley higher pitching change, and Takeuchi got the job done. 2 scoreless innings, just 1 hit allowed, 4 strikeouts, and now Kukui will try and replicate the feat.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a brilliant outing by Takeuchi to come in and shut down the lineup, and that's exactly what they'll need to see, and great job by the Bite, now making it 3-1, and it's a very tight contest here in the fourth of a 7-inning ball game.
Gave you a scoreboard update on the ABL a few moments ago, and what we neglected to mention was that the comeback for the Perth Heat over Auckland, 5 runs in the 7th inning to walk it off. They had been no hit through 6 innings. Quite a thrilling victory for the Heat, and a demoralizing loss for the Tuatara, who the Bandits will be seeing next weekend. Ryan Battaglia leads off for the Bandits against Kukui. Battaglia with an RBI sacrifice fly to left field his first time up.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. It was Kyle Glogowski, 5 innings, no hits, no runs, no earned, and he had 2 base on balls and 6 strikeouts. And unfortunately, they weren't able to close it out. It's got to be a tough loss for the inaugural Tuatara team.
Battaglia singled off Kukui on Thursday night, and now he faces a 2-2 count. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Bandits, Battaglia, De La Calle, and Nielsen. Kukui with a side-winding delivery from the right side, delivers outside, and the count runs full. Battaglia swings through a belt-high fastball, and he is a strikeout victim for out number 1 in the 4th.
Yeah, you got to see Kukui earlier in the year, and like I said, comes out from a real tough arm angle, and you can see it again on. It's got to be really tough on right-handed hitters. Elevated that fastball up in the zone, and Battaglia wasn't able to square it up.
Suki Bowl replay. Here's Danny De La Calle. Grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice to shortstop in the first. 3-run first inning for the Bandits. All started with Andrew Campbell's leadoff home run. Wade Dutton adding an RBI single, and then Battaglia's sac fly, accounting for all of the scoring so far for Brisbane. De La Calle checks his swing. The appeal down to first. He did not go, says Tom West. And we gave you James Shields' name as one of the umpires in the doubleheader. That is incorrect. We believe it's Gavin Carson manning third base tonight. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight on Bandits.tv. Testing out the new handheld camera that is really classing up the joint. And Paul, if anyone needs classing up, it's us.
It's us.
Once again, the 100th broadcast of Hailstorm and Bandits.tv. A little bit of a celebration, and maybe more of a celebration if the Bandits can pull out the victory tonight. 1-2, fouled back to the screen.
Tell you what, I like the mix-up with the Bite to this week, you know, as far as mixing up, showing different looks and not forcing guys to go deep in ball games, so it doesn't allow hitters to make adjustments throughout the game, and it's a really good strategy. It's becoming very, very big, particularly with the Milwaukee Brewers this year.
1-2 misses inside. De La Calle didn't seem too eager to get out of the way of that one, but It did not hit him, and it's 2-2. A lot of complementary pieces to go into building a team for the Bite. Fouled at the plate. De La Calle gets that one off of his left shoe.
It'll work really well because going back into Adelaide, the field plays well for fly ball type pitchers. Sometimes they get the coastal winds blowing in, so it's a good fastball up in the zone type ballpark to pitch in because it does induce a lot of fly ball outs.
3-2 now to De La Calle. And also the ABL season format plays well to the matchup game, where you don't have to play every single day and you may eventually wear down your bullpen. You're resting your guys 3-4 days out of the week. Popped up in between home and third in foul territory, and the catcher Edwards with a fundamentally sound retrieve, making the two-handed catch for out number 2.
Yeah, good job right there, and that's always tough for a catcher. You're sitting down in a squat position and you've got to find your bearings and run the ball down, but good job of calling the ball early for out number 2.
Now Daniel Nielsen. Strikeout looking his first time up. On the inside corner, a called strike. Same spot, same result, a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Nielsen drives it in the air to left center field, but it hangs up for Whitefield, who makes a running catch. We've seen that before, and we will probably see it again. Aaron Whitefield showing off his range. A 1-2-3 fourth inning for Toru Kukui, and we go to the 5th. Still 3-1 Brisbane on Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Brisbane on top over Adelaide, 3-1 as we go to the 5th inning, and a little peek behind the curtain at our production. Hello to Chris Storin, apparently. Good folks keeping us on the air tonight through all the rain and wind and everything else that was thrown our way. Bandits looking for the doubleheader sweep. They are just a few innings away from doing exactly that. Tim Atherton struggled in the 4th inning. It was really one at bat, the 14-pitch at bat to Jordan McArdle with 2 down that ended in the RBI single. But by and large, he's gotten the job done. And he is out there to try and pick up the win and maybe go even deeper into the ballgame past the 5th.
Yeah, he's done a brilliant job, and I think this is his big inning. I think regardless of what happens, David may go to the pen to get some guys some work, because then it's a long break until they're back on the road in New Zealand, take on a tough Auckland team.
8-9-1 due up for the Bite. Angus Roger, Curtis Mead, and Aaron Whitefield. Roger struck out looking his first time up. And as soon as the music stops, we will play baseball. You don't mind a little extra music on a night like this, right? 1-0 the count. Luke Van Meel throwing in the bullpen, but not in earnest. In fact, he's sitting back down already. Van Meel played for this Adelaide squad last year, and they had no reservations about using him for more than one inning as the closer. It was a one-inning outing for Van Meel in Thursday night's win for the Bandits, but as long as Atherton is pitching effectively, you'd have to think that Dave Nielsen is going to stick with him.
Yeah, like I said, he's really hasn't labored all the whole game, and I think last inning was his probably highest pitch inning. It was probably because of the one at bat that was extended to 14 pitches, and but he's actually done a brilliant job.
Still just 60 pitches, 45 of them for strikes. And the 2-1 misses up and away. No walks through 4 innings. 6 strikeouts, 5 of them coming in the first 2 frames. Slow wind for Atherton. The 3-1. Lifted foul out of play down the right field line. Payoff pitch coming to Roger. And again, lifted foul out of play. I think we've seen one guy turn around a fastball and be early on it, and that was McCardle, who almost hit a homer down the right field line in the last inning, but everything has been late for the Bite, as this one is sent on the ground towards short. Bennett fields and throws and retires Roger for out number 1.
Good job right there by Bennett. Got a tough hop in between, stayed through the baseball. We see it here on the replay. Just good route to the baseball. You see how he comes around it, and he gains his momentum going to the bag. And that's a clean play for out number 1.
And we'll say it again, always helps to have a big target with Sutherland at first.
Let's acknowledge what, TJ didn't start this series expecting to play shortstop, but he's had a brilliant series making the transition from right field to short.
I'd say so. Curtis Mead takes low and away. When the 2018-2019 season comes to a close, TJ Bennett may have made the play of the year playing out of position at shortstop. It's a position that he is familiar with, but again, not expecting to be the everyday guy there. Logan Wade with an unexpected injury just hours before Thursday's first pitch.
It shows the depth that David has on this ball club and the ability for these guys to move around the diamond. Soupy Campbell has the ability to play any of the outfield positions. Wade Dutton, same thing. Cheek can move around. Goofy's probably the only one, probably a mainstay over there at first base and a bit of DH. And obviously Lutzy can bounce around between first and in the corner outfield positions.
Wind picking up again. It's been blowing out to right field pretty much all the last 3 nights. Atherton from the wind. The 1-2. Low and away. The 2-2 coming. Mead fights it off and keeps the at-bat alive.
Just looking in the pin right now, looks like Matty Timms is just starting to just lightly roll it over, and obviously David's monitoring Timmy's pitch count, and obviously if he sees that he gets into any trouble, he's got a guy just rolling over in the pin. But it may also be that Timsy traditionally comes in to set up to get to the closer, and obviously a 7-inning ball game, he may start the 6th and give Timmy a night off.
Next pitch will be number 70 for Atherton. Another 2-2. And Meade again fights it off. These at-bats were ending a lot sooner earlier on in the ball game, but Atherton, with a little bit of fatigue setting in, maybe doesn't have quite the zip on the fastball to get the swings and misses.
Absolutely, and these guys, they're professional hitters. It is game 4, so it gives them an opportunity to start to make those early adjustments, and now they're starting to get on the timing of Atherton.
The 2-2. Hit on the ground towards second. Fielded by Dutton, and the throw to Sutherland in time for the second out. Two down and nobody on for Aaron Whitefield. The more at-bats you can get with this guy at the plate and nobody on base, the better the Bandits will feel. Whitefield 0 for 2 in tonight's ball game with a strikeout and a bunt attempt right back to the pitcher. Atherton 1 out away from qualifying for a win. For a while, we thought we'd be lucky to get through 4.5 innings and make this game official, but no more weather, no more serious weather in the forecast for the rest of tonight. That shouldn't be an issue. Here's the 0-1 to Aaron Whitefield. Cracked in the air, shallow right. Long run for Lutz. It's the second baseman, Dutton, coming out, and he makes the play for the third out. 5 solid innings for Tim Atherton. Pitch count is good, but that may be it for the righty in his 2018 debut. Take another look at the Suki Bowl replay as Dutton makes the play, and it is a 1-2-3 fifth inning. Bottom of the fifth coming up. Bandits coming to bat. They lead it 3-1.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
More fan engagement on the field at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Play at the plate. I think I could do that. Could you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then have to acknowledge and a big shout out to the Gold Coast team. They just recently returned from a place in the U.S., Williamsport, where they played in the Little League World Series.
Yes.
It's the first time in Queensland baseball history we had a Queensland team represent Australia in the Little League World Series in Williamsport.
Magical place. I've never been, but hope to be there someday. And good to see Major League Baseball also engaging in the Williamsport festivities now. I believe now the last 2 years they've had the Little League Classic, a regular season Major League game held in Williamsport. And the Major Leaguers get to interact with the Little Leaguers.
I think, was it Philadelphia and the Mets?
Sounds right.
This year?
Yeah, that sounds like the play. The year before it was the Pirates and somebody else. Geographically, you want to have some team from Pittsburgh area, but let's hope that Queensland makes an appearance in the near future as well in the Little League World Series. Bandits lead at 3-1. They'd feel a lot better if they can increase their lead here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Jared Wilson comes on for the bite in another Alderley higher pitching change. Toru Kukui was as good as he could be expected to be. The 1-2-3 fourth inning, and he gives way to Wilson. Wilson, the righty, bounces his first pitch in the dirt.
He's a big right-handed pitcher, 28 years of age, from Anaheim, California. He's 193 centimeters tall and 95 kilos. 19th round pick, 2013, by the Minnesota Twins.
The righty comes set. 1-0 on the inside corner for a strike. Andrew Campbell, 1 for 2 with a solo homer and a strikeout. Takes inside and almost hits him. Campbell sends it straight back. We've seen a lot of Bandits players, and for that matter too, a lot of Bite players, right on pitches and fouling them straight back. With a couple more barreled up balls, this could be a very different ball game. 2-2, and Campbell plays jump rope with a low and in fastball.
Yeah, absolutely. After the first inning, the Bite pitching staff has really done a fantastic job of solidifying this offense, and we still have a very close ball game here in the 5th.
Payoff pitch, and it's ball 4. Leadoff walk to Andrew Campbell. Campbell and his speed will trot down to first.
Just looking at Jared Wilson's careers in the minor leagues with the Minnesota Twins, signed in 13 and finished up in 15 in the Midwest League. Looks like a full year in A-ball. He was 5-4 with a 4.25 ERA in 30 games.
Graduate of UC Santa Barbara, the Gauchos, I believe. TJ Bennett steps in. He's 0 for 2. Before the first pitch, Campbell checked back at first.
There's a team in the U.S. called the Artichokes.
Well, they're getting crazier and crazier. Bennett takes up high ball 1. New AA team in Amarillo is going to be the Sod Poodles. In 2020, new Southern League team relocating from Mobile is going to be the Rocket City Trash Pandas. (1-0), swing and a miss.
I'm going to have to do a quick Google image search on what that logo looks like.
It is a raccoon with a spacesuit on. Suburban Huntsville, located in Madison, Alabama. Home to a lot of NASA technicians. There's a space research laboratory there. Swinging strike, and it's 1-2. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy popularized the term trash panda for a raccoon. Whatever works, right? One-two to Bennett. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Tell you what, the big righty came in. He does throw hard. He's 6'4" and 210 pounds. So one thing he does do, he brings the velocity. And here's a big pitch, good location, but just unable to catch up with the velocity.
Country hardball. That replay brought to you by Suki Bowl. Here's Shu Ji Hung, who has a pair of doubles and 2 trips to the plate tonight. Shu takes low and in ball 1.
So Tim Z is in the bullpen for the Bandits now, and he's hitting up, so that would probably finish up Atherton.
Shu drives one deep to left center field into the gap. It is caught by the left fielder Shumpert just on the edge of the warning track. And retreating to first is Andrew Campbell. Couple well-struck balls by Shu. The second double maybe wasn't as well hit. As we take another look at the Suki Bowl replay, it all evens out in this one. Maybe in different weather conditions is over the fence.
Yeah, really good job by Shumpert. He went a long ways to run that baseball down. That just stopped potentially a double and a run scoring, so really good defense by the Bite.
Here's Wade Dutton. Dutton shortened up his swing in the first inning. Hit a humpback liner over the first baseman McCardle for an RBI single, and then grounded back to the pitcher his last time up.
I like that humpback double.
Oh, you can picture it in your head, can't you?
You can see it. It's better the old terminology, the Texas Leaguer. So that's
Texas Leaguer. It's derogatory towards those of you who have been Texas Leaguers.
True. I spent many a year in the Texas League.
Little pause as home plate umpire Mal Mackay rubs up a fresh baseball. Hold strike on the inside corner. That's another thing about double headers and rain delays that the average fan may not think of. You go through a lot of baseballs. 2 games in one day, and wet conditions age the baseball quite quickly.
I think on an average Australian Baseball League game, they average between 4 and 5 dozen pending the condition of the weather. Tonight, you'd probably be looking at, even in a 7-inning game, between 4 and 6 dozen, which at the major league level, that's pretty insignificant. I think the moment the ball touches the dirt, it's thrown out.
1-1, rocketed to center field, but the ballpark will hold it, and Whitefield makes the play for out number 3. Bandits squared up Jared Wilson pretty well, but they don't have anything to show for it after the leadoff walk. The scoreless 5th sends us to the 6th inning, and it looks like Tim Atherton's day is done. More on the Bandits reliever when we come back on Bandits.tv.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
Welcome back to One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus, where the Bandits lead the Adelaide Bite by a score of 3-1 going to the top of the 6th in this 7-inning ball game. Tim Atherton pitched well in his first start of the year, going deep enough to qualify for the win. 5 innings of 4-hit, 1-run ball for the righty, no walks and 6 strikeouts, and he gives way to Matt Timms. Some Alderley Hire pitching change, and Timms making his 2nd appearance of the season. Still is not yet allowed a run. 2 strikeouts in a scoreless inning earlier on in the series.
Yeah, this is David's go-to guy, obviously, to set up to the back end to his closer, 31 years of age, a local Queenslander. He's been fantastic in this role. 198 centimeters, 100 kilos, but career average of 4 and 5 with a 3.70, so he's been outstanding for the Bandits throughout his playing career.
1-2-3 8th inning as a lead-in to Luke Van Meel on Thursday night. And if the Bandits can follow that blueprint again tonight, they will be quite happy. 2, 3, and 4 due up for Adelaide, beginning with Nick Schumpert. Schumpert 1 for 2, a single and a stolen base in the first inning. Tim's a big guy with a big fastball. The righty comes set. First pitch to Schumpert, brushes him back.
Timsy's really been known for that split finger fastball, really good overhand fastball, probably sits anywhere from 88 and probably get up to 90 miles an hour. But what makes him tough is that tough split finger fastball.
The 1-0. Schumpert chops it on the ground towards short. 2 hops for Bennett, and the throw to first is just in time to get the speedy Schumpert out number 1. They'll bring up Mikey Reynolds, and Reynolds will be followed by Michael Geddes. But then after that, a pair of lefties, and Ken Frosch, the lefty, is warming in the Bandits' pen. Looks like Timms will get the first 3 batters of this inning, and if it goes to a 4th or 5th, it'll be Frosch called upon in the matchup game. Cold strike begins the at-bat to Mikey Reynolds, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first and is 0 for 2 tonight.
Just looking at right now, when you've got, I think you've got Geddes on deck, and then you've got Welshie behind him, so maybe he's seen first pitch will be he'll go at Welshie, potentially then go to big righty if required.
Timms quickly ahead of 0-2. Fouled at the plate. Reynolds keeps the at-bat alive.
There's that tough split we were just talking about earlier in the piece, and what's made him so difficult throughout the years is probably gives you 2 looks. And I know this year he's working on a breaking ball as well, so you mix in that third pitch, it's really tough to sit on that split finger.
Another 0-2 from Timms. Chopped on the ground towards short. Another try for Bennett. And Bennett just gets him. Another close play at first, and Reynolds is out by about a 1/4 step. We'll take another look at the Suki Bowl replay.
I tell you what, TJ got rid of the ball quickly, but this shows how quick Reynolds gets down the line. He's a plus runner, hence why he's a high round pick with the Atlanta Braves.
Pair of close grounders to short are the first 2 outs for Tim Atherton in the 6th inning. And now Michael Geddes. Geddes does not want to go down looking in this at-bat. 2 strikeouts in his first 2 trips, and the bat has been left on his shoulder.
Just talking earlier about Frost rolling it over in the bullpen, the tough lefty. He'd probably, if he was required to come out, if Geddes finds a way to get on, he'll face the tough Stephen Welsh batting from the left side.
Called strike, and it's 0-1. You wonder even if Van Meel doesn't start the 7th inning. If they ask Frosch to get the lefties, Welsh and McCardle, then a switch hitter, Mitch Edwards after that. We'll see. 0-1 in on the hands, but fielding it is Dutton. Little pop-up, no trouble for Dutton and the Bandits as Matt Timms pitches a 1-2-3 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, still 3-1 Brisbane on Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Fans running across the infield having fun tonight at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. After a rain delay, we have gone off without a hitch, nearing the end of this 7-inning ball game and our doubleheader between the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits and the Adelaide Bites. Buster the Bandit with a high five for our crew there, and a new pitcher in the game for the Bite. Ryan Chaffee comes on in an Alderley higher pitching change. I don't know if it was the plan all along to make this a bullpen game, but after the short start from Michael Gahn, the bullpen's done an outstanding job.
No, they've done a brilliant job, and I tell you what, a credit to all of them. They've contained the offense since inning 1, and they've made it a tight game number 4. of this best of 4 series.
4 scoreless innings from the bullpen thus far. Takeuchi with 2, Kukui with 1, and Wilson with 1. Now Ryan Chaffee, who we saw in Game 2 of this series last night. He came on in a non-save situation and allowed back-to-back doubles to Shu and Dutton, ultimately allowing 2 runs in, but then buckled down and got the final 2 outs of the ball game to clear a 5-3 win for Adelaide. Here's Donald Lutz. He hasn't put the ball in play in tonight's ball game. A walk in the first, a strikeout in the third. Called strike begins the at-bat to the big lefty. Lutz, Sutherland, and Battaglia do up for the Bandits, 5, 6, and 7. 1-1 the count. And expanding on what we said before the break, it's going to be lefty-lefty switch. Welsh, McArdle, and Edwards for the bite in the top of the 7th inning. And just as we say that, Frosch sits down and Van Meel gets up. Here's one hit on the ground towards second. Meade throws to McArdle, and Lutz is retired for out number 1. We were speculating during the break that maybe, even though it's a save situation, Frosch may be going out there to get the lefties, but it looks like it is going to be Van Meel going out to get the save.
Yeah, and that's what David basically saying, that you're my closer, you're my go-to guy. So probably in a situation, if Geddes does get on, he might go different look for Welsh. Obviously, it's a tie and run, but to start the inning in the 7th, which would be to close the game out, he's going to go with his big 7'1" closer.
David Sutherland gives it a ride. Deep right field and gone. Off the light tower and back onto the field another 50 feet. That was a shot. Second of the year and another Empire Jerky home run.
Wow. I tell you what, we're talking about who's going to close the game out, and Goofy Sutherland decides to put one off the light pole in right field, and that is a bomb.
Lost track of it, it went up so high, and then we saw it again back on the field after a hard ricochet. An absolute bomb off the bat of David Sutherland, and he knew it.
I tell you what, he got a pitch up in the strike zone, and he absolutely deposited deep in the right field. That's the first time I've seen a ball come off the top of that light pole in a very long time.
That was a Suki Bowl replay. And here's Ryan Battaglia, 0 for 1 with a sac fly, run batted in the first, and a strikeout in the 4th.
Just looking at Ryan's background, a 3rd-round pick in 208 by the Los Angeles Angels out of Chipola Junior College.
Battaglia takes up high, and the count is 1-1. I think it's a testament to the strength of this Bandits lineup that a guy like Sutherland is batting 6th. I mean, there is power and various tools up and down the lineup.
No, it's a fairly deep and potent lineup, and obviously we
3-1 now. Here's a shot down the left field line, but well fouled.
And the thing is, you're still waiting for Mitch Nielsen to come back, who had a monster year for the Bandits last year, and obviously Logan Wade's return. And both of those guys bring a lot of power to this lineup as well.
Payoff pitch to Battaglia, and an off-speed pitch gets a swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down now for Danny De La Calle in the DH spot. Another look at the strikeout, Suki Bowl replay. That strikeout, the first for Chaffee. He got Sutherland to end the ball game last night, and Sutherland exacts his revenge tonight. De La Calle 0 for 2. Fielder's choice ground out in the first, and a foul pop to the catcher in the 4th. Bandits get a big insurance run here in the 6th inning. They lead at 4-1. 2-0, a big swing, and a foul back to the backstop off the bat of De La Calle.
You mentioned earlier about the depth and the power. I mean, we really haven't seen Chi or De La Calle really catch on fire, and I think when they make their adjustments to the league and the pitching, really I don't see a weak spot 1 through 9 of this lineup.
3-1 the count with Daniel Nielsen waiting on deck.
That's usually what you see, and you've called a lot of games at the higher levels, AA and AAA, and you don't find the weak outs, and sometimes you'll see it in some of the lower levels, but it seems like as you progress up the league between AA and AAA, and obviously in the big leagues, there's not a weak out. Just gets tougher to get hitters out, and these guys seem tough 1 through 9.
Count runs full. Chaffee delivers, and another foul. Chaffee trying to end the 6th inning. And De La Calle has other plans. He fouls one off. Pitch number 7 in this at-bat coming up. It's actually going to be pitch number 8. That was pitch number 7.
We've seen quite a bit of tough at-bats between both teams over the series, and obviously when you see that early in any season, it just makes these guys, they're tough outs.
De La Calle sends it foul again. It has been a long day at the ball yard for both of these teams. Report time at about 11 o'clock for a 2:30 Game 1 start. But the nice thing about these doubleheaders is they've got their Sundays to themselves. 3-2 rip to right center, down for a hit. Picked up the ground by Geddes, and if he had not picked that off, that would have gone to the wall. Single, well struck for De La Calle, and that brings up Daniel Nielsen.
Yeah, really good job by De La Calle, and that's what you like to see from, when you talk about older hitters and they get into 2-strike counts, they stay inside the ball and stay through it, and he did a really good job shooting that ball to right field.
Nielsen 0 for 2, a strikeout and a line out to center. 2 for 10 on the season. And Chaffee wants to rosin up. Nielsen rips it into the corner. Down for a hit and all the way to the wall. Rounding second on his way to third is De La Calle. He's going to be held, and wisely so. Strong relay in from Geddes and right. All the way into McArdle, the first baseman, and De La Calle would have been a dead duck at home plate.
Yeah, good job right there. But De La Calle all the way from the start of that ball was hit down the right field line, had the focus of scoring, and good job by Shane Watson to hold him up. And the Bandits still threaten, leading 4-1 with a man on second and third.
Nielsen with another well-struck base hit. Here's Andrew Campbell, and the pitch is bounced in the dirt. A hit here would take it out of a save situation for Luke Van Meel, and now, sure thing, sure enough, Frosch is back up, the lefty. One-0 misses low, and it's 2-0 to the dangerous Andrew Campbell. Luke Van Meel very effective and a veteran presence, but the less wear and tear you have on his arm and his body, the better early in the season, right?
Well, that's it. And look, it is still early in the season.
3-0.
Obviously, the guys will travel next weekend to Auckland, where they'll take on the Tuatara team, and see, hopefully those guys will get plenty of work, and there'll be some tough conditions playing an early ball game.
Campbell taking all the way. It's a 4-pitch walk to load the bases for T.J. Bennett. And always tough conditions for Luke flying commercially. They put him in an exit row, but still jamming him into a seat that's intended for someone a foot shorter than him. Luke Prokopek, the pitching coach for the Bite, coming out to chat with Ryan Chaffee. You've seen really good stuff from Chaffee, but this is the second straight night and second time in 3 games that he's struggled and led in a run.
Yeah, he throws the ball extremely hard. Actually was speaking to one of our partners from Empire Jerky sitting in the corporate box with him yesterday, and his velo's there, so it's just about just getting his location where he needs it to. So at the end of the day, he's missing too much middle and middle in and up in the zone, and these guys have been able to barrel him up. So he just got to stay within himself and focus more on his location because the velocity is definitely there.
T.J. Bennett has been quiet tonight, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. But a base hit here could put this game on ice. De La Caille at third, Nielsen at second, Campbell at first. 1 run already in the 6th inning for the Bandits on the David Sutherland solo home run. Bennett swings and chases what would have been ball 1. Instead, it's strike 1. Chaffee with 25 pitches thrown already. The 0-1 a check swing, and Bennett holds up. The 1-1 to Bennett, missing low, just low, and a good take by TJ, 2-1.
Now we get to that dangerous count situation where you know you're going to get potentially a good pitch to hit, so he's got to really make sure his location's on against a very dangerous hitter at the plate.
Bennett takes high and tight, 3-1 with no place to put the Bandit shortstop. Shu Chi Hung waiting on deck. (3-1) to Bennett, ball 4. A bases-loaded walk, and Bennett gets the easiest RBI of the season, bringing home De La Caille from third base. (5-1) our new score, and that is no longer a save situation for Luke Van Meel, who sits down.
And that puts David in a situation right there where he does have some flexibility of letting him get an inning.
Shu Chi Hung takes high, ball 1. This is a situation that seems advantageous for Shu. We've been waiting for him to hit one out. He's hit a lot of balls hard, but he hasn't cleared one yet, and he could clear the bases here with a gapper. 1-0 to Shu. Driven to right field. That is down for a hit, and it one-hops off the wall. Nielsen scores from third. Campbell scores from second, and it is the third double of the game for Shu Chi Hung. Driving in 2 for the Bandits. It's now 7-1.
And that's the scouting report on him right there. He's very, very dangerous with runners in scoring position. Good job of driving the ball right field. Any elevation, the ball's probably out of here, but once again, good clutch hitting with 2 outs here in the 6th inning, now making this ball game 7-1.
Wade Dutton will be the 9th man to bat here in the 6th inning. Bandits batted 8 in a 3-run first, and they didn't score for 4 innings until here in the 6th inning. Dutton trying to replicate what Shu did. He swings and misses. On the double, Nielsen and Campbell score. Bennett checks in at third. Shu goes to second with 2 runs batted in. And the count is 0-2 now to Wade Dutton. Dutton 1 for 3, an RBI single and a stolen base in the first. Dutton swings and misses, and the third out cannot come soon enough for Ryan Chaffee, who lets in 4 and bats 9 in the 6th inning. Bandits get a homer from David Sutherland, a bases-loaded walk, and a 2-run double from Shu Chi-hung to blow this game wide open. 3 outs to get in this 7-inning ball game. Back for those 3 outs on Bandits.tv.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
Brisbane Bandits are 3 outs away from a win, a doubleheader sweep, and a 3-1 series victory over the Adelaide Bite in round 1. All things very good as the Bandits try to defend their Claxton Shield championship.
Absolutely. I mean, David Nielsen's got to be really proud of this ball club. It's really their first test. It's always a tough battle against the Adelaide Bite, and once again, the Bandits put up a big number late in the ball game. Allows him a little bit more flexibility and get some guys working.
Time for an Alderley Higher pitching change. Matt Timms went 1 scoreless, 3 up, 3 down in the 6th inning, and it is no longer a save situation, so instead of Luke Van Meel, it is the lefty that was warming up in the 6th inning, Ken Frosch.
Also, in addition, I think they've moved a young Tyson Zamora into right field, and I think that'll give him some innings in the ABL. He's one of the development players for the Brisbane Bandits as well.
Out to the other room.
So Zamora in to right field for Donald Lutz. Two lefties and a switch hitter for Ken Frosch and Stephen Welsh, who's 1 for 2 with a double. Takes ball 1.
Yeah, the 29-year-old left-hander gives you a really, really tough arm angle, and that's what makes him so effective, particularly against these tough left-handed hitters.
Frosch looks in, comes set. Pitch to Welsh is a called strike. Saw Frosch as the first reliever out of the pen on Thursday night in relief of Sam Holland. He went an inning scoreless. 1, 2, 3, retiring McArdle, Roger, and Edwards. And now the count 1-2. Breaking pitch misses low and away. Atherton in line for the win. He started tonight and went 5 innings of 4-hit, 1-run ball. Didn't walk a batter and struck out 6. 1-2, swinging strike 3. 1 up, 1 down for Ken Frosch in the 7th inning. Another Skyfleet Hino strikeout.
And once again, we talked about that arm angle and how effective he is, particularly on lefties. So you see where his arm slot is. He's basically behind the left-handed hitter when he actually releases the baseball. So very, very tough for the lefty to pick him up early.
Now Jordan McArdle. A single his last time up, accounting for the only run scored for the Bite tonight. 1 for 2 in total. He swings and misses at the first offering. Pitch just misses. It's 1-1. Not big into numerology, but the first two games of this round were 5-3, and we may have a doubleheader in which both final scores are 7-1. It means something, Paul. It means something.
You know what it means? A new league record.
2-1 the count. Bandits took game one on Thursday night, beginning the 2018-2019 season with a 5-3 victory. 2-1 misses outside, 3-1 with Mitch Edwards waiting on deck.
I think overall David's got to be really, really pleased when you talk about you lost Logan Wade before you started, so you had to make an adjustment moving TJ. And really defensively, this ball club has looked outstanding all weekend.
3-1 misses low. It's a 5-pitch walk to Jordan McArdle, and that brings Mitch Edwards to the plate. But also enough positives to take away for Adelaide. Coming out on the road against the three-time defending champions to start your season is not exactly the way you want to draw it up, but they got an outstanding pitching performance from Marcus Solbach last night. And though they came up short, or have come up short so far tonight, there's something to build on.
There's a lot to build on, and they'll play a lot differently in their ballpark. It's a very pitcher-friendly ballpark, in my opinion. And when you talk about their speed, the way they move defensively, and I think if their pitchers can contain the offense of the other ball clubs, they're going to manufacture runs, and they're going to stay in this race.
Edwards 1 for 2 with a single, and he takes inside. The 2-0 right down the middle for a called strike. 7 runs on 8 hits for the Bandits. All the damage done in the first and 6th innings. All 7 runs and 7 of the 8 hits. 2-1 from Frosch. Early on it is Edwards, and he wraps it foul up the third base line. For the Bite, just 1 run on 4 hits, and no hits since the 4th. 3-1 ball game entering the bottom of the 6th inning, and Brisbane really opened it up and took some of the tension out of One Hubs Stadium powered by Optus. There's a backwards K in the scorebook, a strikeout looking of Mitch Edwards for out number 2. Second strikeout for Ken Frosch, and another Skyfleet Hino strikeout.
Good pitch, good location, and once again, these guys continue to hit their spots. Just real quickly, the final in that Canberra game, Melbourne actually 3-0 in that series, won 11-3 with 14 hits against 8 from the Canberra Cavalry.
Last hope for the Bite is Angus Roger, and he takes up high ball 1. Another reminder that the Brisbane Bandits are on the road for round 2 next week, taking on one of the new expansion teams in the ABL, the Tuatara in Auckland. 2-0 the count.
And speaking of Auckland, they lead that ball game, the second game of that doubleheader, 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Noon on Friday, 9 and noon on Saturday, and noon again on Sunday in New Zealand. Back home for round 3 against the Sydney Blue Sox, beginning on Friday the 30th. 3-0 the count. Frosch in danger of walking his second batter of the inning, and the Bite haven't put anything in play against the lefty. The walk to McArdle and 2 strikeouts. Roger takes down the middle. Frosch delivers, and ball 4 misses just inside. Almost a swing from Roger. He held up, and the pitch just missed. Roger goes to first. That pushes McArdle to second. And the Bite have something cooking with 2 down in the 7th inning. This is a very, very different looking 7th inning if the Bandits don't get those 4 runs in the 6th.
Absolutely, and like I said, there's no threat at present, but obviously one swing in the bat and all of a sudden got a different ball game. But big job by the Bandits scoring late.
Curtis Mead takes inside ball 1. Mead 0 for 2 today. Frosch is 1-0. There's a called strike. "22 pitches for Frosch, just 9 of them for strikes. 1 well-placed strike, and he will end the ball game. There was a foul tip that got a piece of the catcher Battaglia and the home plate umpire Mal Mackay. 1-2 the count. And the Bite are down to their final strike. McArdle at second, Roger at first. Ken Frosch comes set. Got him! Ken Frosch strikes out the side in a scoreless 7th inning, and the Bandits sweep the doubleheader with a pair of 7-1 victories. They take 3 of 4 from the Adelaide Bite and begin their title defense, taking 3 of 4 at home as they head out on the road for round 2. Paul Gonzalez, an encouraging first 4 games, and the fact that we played all 4 games is the most encouraging thing with the weather we dealt with today. All returns very positive for Brisbane so far.
Yeah, you really couldn't find really a chink in the armor. As far as the team goes, they produced really well offensively. They capitalized in game 3 and 4 with opportunities and outstanding pitching performance throughout the weekend. So ticked all the boxes, I'm sure, for David Nielsen and his coaching staff, and they've got to be proud of their efforts this weekend.
The winner is Tim Atherton, the loser Michael Gaughan. There was no save. The final score, the Adelaide Bite in loss with 1 run, and in victory, the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits score 7. Bandits take 3 of 4 from the series, and we will see you next 2 weeks from now as we welcome in the Sydney Blue Sox to One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. For Paul Gonzalez and everyone else on the Hailstorm crew, I'm Eric Bramer signing off. Thanks for watching us today, and catch us next weekend in Auckland.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?